Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome to Hexen. Of all the games I have played in my life, this is perhaps my white whale. I have off and on tried to beat this game for years. I first played this when I was easily less than 10 years old. I had the Nintendo 64 version of Hexen. I have been to the final level of Hexen. I have beaten the final level of Hexen. However, I have only ever achieved it through the use of cheat codes. I have never beaten this game legitimately, and in fact, I have never gotten through the first hub world of the game without cheating in some way. Well, I want this to finally end. And so, I'm going to be playing Hexen, and I am not stopping until I beat it. I am playing on the easiest difficulty, because I'm not actually good at Hexen. I am playing with the Cleric, which I think is the best character, especially later in the game. And I have, on the chair next to me, the official Prima strategy guide for Hexen. I am ready to do this, and now it is time to proceed. Hexen, as you can see, is a first-person... what do I press to interact with a door? That is a good question. Hexen is a first-person... Open is supposed to be spacebar, so that should be working. It's not. I don't fully get it. Okay, right-click. Right-click seems to work. So, Hexen is a first-person dark fantasy exploration and puzzle game. There is going to be plenty of combat, but the combat was never the thing that stopped me from beating this game. It was always the way that it is structured. The majority of the game takes place in hub worlds. Singular big levels with central puzzles that lead off to various sub-levels containing bits and things that you have to do in order to advance the puzzle on the primary map. And that is just how the whole thing is constructed. I am playing the Cleric character. There is also a fighter and a mage. And the big difference between them is, well, it mostly boils down to the 4 weapons available to each character. A few little bits about how quickly they move, how much they take damage, and how a few specific items, ouch, act for the character. For instance, I have a flechette, which for the Cleric drops a poison cloud that lingers for quite a long time. I actually do have an inventory of items that I will be finding. Some of them are just static. They just sit there. Others, like my flechettes and my quartz flasks here, are activated items. So flechettes are general all-purpose grenades The quartz flasks, when used, restore 25 health. There are 2 types of ammo in the game, that being blue and green mana. When I get my second weapon, it will use blue mana. And when I get my third weapon, that will use green mana. And when I get my ultimate weapon, that one consumes both blue and green mana. Enemies do respawn, so that's another thing I'm going to have to be careful with. But they do not respawn consistently. On some levels, I mean, enemies are going to be constantly appearing out of nowhere. That's just, you know, a staple of an id first-person game. But this one is unique because on top of the enemies that will just appear as I advance things through the levels, there will also be enemies that will just randomly spawn in given time. So that's another thing I will have to deal with. I'm just playing this level pretty slowly. I could have been through this whole level by now, but I wanted to give time to sort of talk about and explain it first. So here's going to be our first key. And now that I have the key, these doors start closing. If you get trapped in them, you die instantly. There is a run button, that being shift. There's jumping as well. It also uses a weird hybrid control system. This game was back in the time where the truest gamers played on joysticks. And the joystick sort of translates to the mouse controls. So for instance, if I move forward on my mouse or back on my mouse, it moves me forward and back, not just changing the direction that I face, as it would with a more modern shooter. So that means that I am pretty regularly going to find myself facing directions I don't necessarily want to be at inconvenient times. That's just the nature of these types of controls. I could avoid that by doing pure keyboard controls, but that significantly reduces my reaction time to intercept enemies. And while the combat is not the primary thing I'm worried about for this game, the combat is more than capable of being the thing that kills me. So this first level is much more like the kind of level that you would find in Doom or in this game's predecessor, Heretic, where it's really just a, like, find the exit linear stage. Most levels in the game will absolutely not be like this, but it does sort of lead us into it a little bit, which is nice. So now we have to go up here. These enemies are called Ettins. We're going to be fighting them constantly throughout the game. They are not particularly tough. Even without any armor or anything, they can't hit me for very much. And despite their size, they actually have less reach than my club does. So it's actually very easy to outdistance them with some careful maneuvering and backpedaling, and keep them from hurting me. The character I have chosen to play, the cleric, will have 4 specific weapons throughout the course of the game. The first one is this spiked mace, which we can see a little bit better. What's the button for zooming in? It's supposed to be plus. There we go. Which we can actually see a little better here. The second will be a ranged weapon called the Serpent Staff, which is a basic rapid-fire weapon, but also in melee has the added bonus of being able to actually life drain enemies. Their third weapon will shoot a vertical blast of fire that tracks enemies a little bit. And their fourth weapon is the coolest weapon I have ever experienced in any first-person game. That is not at all a joke or an exaggeration. I absolutely mean it. And when I do finally get to show it off, it's going to be so insanely satisfying. Levels in Hexen are absolutely filled to the brim with death traps and a lot of very unclear objectives. So, for instance, everything I've unlocked so far takes me up to this bell. So, it's probably not too hard to guess, oh, you probably have to, like, ring the bell. And you are correct, I do have to ring the bell. Ouch. But the real question is, what the hell happens when you ring the bell? The game won't tell you. There was nothing that indicated that you had to ring a bell to proceed. But you actually have to ring that bell in order to reach the end of the level, which is found in here. It lowers the cage around this teleporter, and the teleporter leads to this. And then, just so you can, it opens up a shortcut back. And so there we go. The first level of Hexen has been completed.
Greetings, mortal. Are you ready to die?
That is, I believe his name is Korax or something like that. He is going to be the big bad of the entire game. So the first thing we need to do is wait for an elevator. It takes quite a long time to activate. So this is our first, this is our first hub world. So there's, I think it's either 3 or 4 levels that are connected to this hub world. The main exit to the hub world is actually right here in this stage. But I'm going to be going in and out frequently of several other stages in order to access that exit. And hopefully we will get to demonstrate why that is harder than it sounds. This stage is called 7 Portals. And there are 3 doors on each side. Here's some nice blue mana for me. Some nice flechettes. And this is the 7th portal. This way will lead to the exit of the hub and the start of the next hub world. But it's going to be a while before we're able to open that door. The first thing we need to do is get one of these side doors opened. So I believe the starting point is a switch on one of these pillars. It would appear it was not, in fact, a switch on the back of one of those portals. Ah. Okay. So that lowered this platform and gives me my serpent staff. It also opened this door. So this is going to be the first door leading somewhere else. Here is our next enemy type. These are fire-breathing serpents. They're not terribly dangerous. If you know the game Heretic, this is indeed what the boss of that game, Desperil, was riding on. Okay. So I need to get into that room back there. So, not... Oh, right. I just have to jump it. Okay. The Serpent Staff costs 1 mana per shot. I'm also actually frequently throughout this game to play well going to have to be aiming up or down. But if I press home, it'll actually have an effect on my OBS, so I'm going to have to make sure that I rebind that before I record my second episode. Alright, and we are ready to proceed to our first side area off the hub. So this is the Guardian of Ice. Whoa. So you may notice that when it's right up against the enemy, it sort of acted a little bit differently there. Where it kind of just locks onto them, and instead of shooting those, there's like a big green thing in the middle of the staff. So we walk forward. That opens up the next area. I'm actually going to let them hit me a couple times. And now, if you keep an eye on my health, first let's clear out a few of the baddies. There we go. You see that I actually steal their health now when I'm right up and against them, which is very convenient. This is an Amulet of Warding. That is our first piece of armor. So our armor class is now a 6, which is nice. The lifesteal of the Serpent Staff is good enough that it actually out-damages Ettins, and is going to be very, very central to some of my strategies moving forward. Alright. So now, you might notice that there's clearly an arrow pointing toward one of these pillars. When I say that this game is full of death traps, I mean it. There are death traps around absolutely every single corner. Basically, every given stage is going to have at least 3 or 4 things in it that will insta-kill you. So, we go here, and this actually takes us back to the 7 portals. And having done that in the Guardian of Ice is now going to unlock some new doors. Oh, there's some Ettins. Okay, well, I thought it opened a door. Oh, okay, yeah, it opened a side door here. So, I have never made it out of the 7 portals without cheating. Ever. In all the years I've tried to play this game. I have frequently used cheats to teleport to other locations, to no-clip class barriers so I could actually see more of it. But I've never done it legit. Although, curiously, I have actually gotten through the next hub world legit. I've just never reached the next hub world legit, which is kind of weird, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, on to the next area. This is the Guardian of Fire. Okay, I'm dead. Let's use my quartz flasks. Each one heals 25 life, so we're okay. Oh boy. Oh, boy. I think those are called Afrits or something. I have the strategy guide, like, right here. Let me just flip through the pages. Where is the bestiary? The bestiary... I know you're here somewhere. The character classes, bestiary, starting on page 40. A well-made strategy guide is just so much fun to have. Yes, they are called Afrits. Cool. We also got a shield here, which increased my armor class again. And we press that switch, and we have a message that says 1/3 of the puzzle has been solved on the 7 portals. That message is a goddamn lie. We are not even remotely close to being 1/3 of the way through the 7 portals. Furthermore, because it's not entirely clear what the puzzle is, just saying 1/3 of the puzzle has been solved is a pretty damn useless piece of information. This door needs a fire key. And then there's another door needing a fire key over here. I think I might need to go down here. No. I did not, in fact, need to go there. I might actually be done here for right now. It might have just been that switch I needed to press. Okay. Let's find out. Did we open another door? Okay, we did open another door. And this is going to reveal another Chaos Serpent. There we go. The reason I'm playing this on the easiest difficulty is because I am a coward. So, you know, hopefully I get a couple points for just being upfront about that. And now we move on to the next one. This is the Guardian of Steel. And it is this specific stage, the Guardian of Steel, that stopped me from ever getting through the hub. You'll also notice that my AC has gone down a point. Your armor depletes as you take damage. And I believe in here we will meet our next enemy. This is a centaur. When centaurs have their shields up, they reflect projectiles. They are completely immune to the projectiles, and they reflect them. Luckily, centaurs are actually fairly easy to deal with by getting right up in their face with the serpent staff. Although, it's not exactly an effective strategy. Okay, the whole screen, like, went green there. I don't fully get why. The flechettes do absolute wonders against the centaurs. The centaurs are going to be the absolute bane of our existence through most of this game. Okay. So, here is where it starts to get a little crazy. So there is a switch here. And then there is another switch here. Individually, these switches do not do anything. What you have to do is hit one switch and run all the way over to the other one as quickly as you possibly can. And maybe that was fast enough to open something? Nope, didn't seem to be. Okay, no, there's alright. Alright, this thing is a door, I guess. It also doesn't help that in this game there is very rough draw distances. And a lot of severe darkness. Is there any way I could, like, increase brightness? No? Okay. Well, let's just keep exploring. Yoink. Yep, flechettes are great against centaurs. Okay. Yoink. They're very effective at stun locking the enemies down. That's a strategy you're going to see me employ pretty regularly throughout the game. Alright. Does the down path over here go anywhere? No, it's just another flechette. Okay. Then I guess we can go this way. Yoink. I don't know where that edit came from. Okay, this doesn't seem to be openable. And the flechette projectile is going to stay there for a while. So we'll just go around the other side. And this goes to a locked door where you need the steel key. So there we go. We have now seemingly explored all that we can here in the Guardian of Steel. Oh, nope, 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 nope. There was a door. Oh, what? Okay, there's an elevator. Where does this elevator go? Okay, when it closes, does that activate the elevator? Alright, let's try going through the door again. See if that activates the elevator. Okay, it did. There we go. Enemies are usually symmetrically placed. Okay. Whoa. So this part is kind of annoying. We've got levers on both sides. This platform here in the middle, actually, this is a single wall that moves from using this switch. So it says 1/3 of the puzzle has been solved on the 7 portals. Okay, I guess I was wrong about what I thought that switch did. That didn't really seem to do anything. So, in theory, if you play this game and just take what it tells you at face value, at this point you might assume, oh, well that's good. I'm already 2/3 of the way through this hub. And you'd be completely wrong. We are not even close. I would say we're less than a third of the way through the entire thing. Alright, we probably had some respawns. I still really feel, damn it, like I'm supposed to be able to do something. Oh. I really feel like I'm supposed to be able to do something by hitting these two switches together. Okay, it's staying active. Did I completely solve it? Is it fixed now? Is it just permanently done, whatever I was trying to do? That door doesn't open. Hold on, let me think. Okay. I wonder if these are the switches that move the wall down in the lower level. If that is the case, I don't get what's poisoning me there. Like, clearly I just walked through poison, but I walked through poison before I put down my flechette. I don't fully understand how or why. Okay, yes, I did move the wall. Okay. So, now I've hit the switches on both sides. And now we have solved 3/3 of the puzzle. Which might make you think, oh, hey, you solved 3/3 of the puzzle. That sounds great. That's it. Okay. So the switches up there are what's controlling this wall. Got it. Alright. So I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure I'm done here for now. I think. So that should have opened more doors. That's all 3 doors on this side opened. So now we've opened a door on that side. So in order to keep track of which side is which, this was the start of the level. So from... Actually, I can just use the damn map. Okay. So, west side. West side are the doors that I've now opened up. Hello, Serpent. Ow. Yeah, we've already slightly escalated the threat, haven't we? 4 Chaos Serpents in a room. Oh. Okay, I think these are called Wendigos? I could be wrong about that. There's also a lot of ice pillars. Wendigos also have fairly powerful ice projectiles. Powerful enough that we're gonna pop a quartz flask. Could you let me in, please? Thank you. All right. Oh. Yep, these look like side doors. So best to just open them up right away. We're doing pretty good with my ammo supply. And we are now back to the Guardian of Ice again. And I think that is where I am going to stop it for today. This is one hell of a game. There's a lot involved, and it's going to take me some real effort to get through it. But I think that this was a fantastic start. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.